Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. I'm GetGoodGuy, and today we're talking about something that we all probably have to deal with in almost every match of BF1 we play, regardless of the game mode, and that is bipods. Whether it be playing against LMGs or playing with an LMG, the bipod has become a feature of the game that we all need to be aware of near constantly. And this issue is something that I've changed my mind about over time, but we'll get to that. Now, as I see so many people mentioning the extensive use of bipods, especially on the support class, and I've found myself thinking about it more and more as I play, I figured today we'd talk about the mechanic itself, its place in the game, and whether we'd choose to alter it in a perfect world, or alternatively, whether we'd like to see them function a little differently in Battlefield 5. So let's get into this. You're going to see me using the Huot low weight in the background footage. You may notice that I do try to get up close and mix it with the assaults and medics, so I'm not exhibiting the ultimate example of bipod reliance, but there are definitely sections where I utilised it and it's extremely effective, perhaps too effective. But how did we get here? Well, as many of you will be aware, the TTK 2.0 patch essentially reshaped the game, changing times to kill and reworking how weapons performed in different situations and under different conditions. This essentially left us with three main changes. Assaults generally kill even faster up close, medics can spam their shots more now and are fairly dominant in the short mid to short long range, and supports lost a lot of their ability to contest at reasonably close quarters and instead rely on bipods a lot more, and when doing so, they're very effective. So was this a net gain for enjoyment levels, or has it negatively affected the game? Well, overall, I think the TTK patch has helped the experience of playing BF1. There are some people who feel differently, but most appear to agree. And in the short term after the TTK patch, I said I liked the overall balance, including how supports now function. I felt and feel like the classes were given more defined roles and range weaknesses and strengths. But that doesn't mean there can't be downsides. And many months later, after extensive playtime, I've settled upon the standpoint that most LMG's reliance on bipods and the playstyle that's created has been perhaps just a little detrimental to the experience of playing BF1. The effectiveness of the bipod, coupled with, I believe, a hit to the hip fire of LMGs and their ability to pre-fire and then go into ADS, has resulted in many supports deciding to, or in some cases needing to, just lie or sit down somewhere and try to effectively snipe people across some pretty crazy distances sometimes. I don't necessarily blame the player for this. I guess you kind of have to play to your weapon's strengths, especially if you aren't able enough to make up for its deficiencies at close range. But this doesn't make for a particularly fun experience sometimes, and this can be applied to using an LMG, not just playing against it. There is a definite sense with most of them that you're going to struggle to run and gun, and I get that that's essentially the point. You can't have them being assault weapons with massive magazines, but perhaps something in between would be a nice compromise, placing the LMGs in a happy middle ground between pre and post TTK patch. If they were slightly more viable at close quarters, not by a lot, but just a bit, and if the bipod were somewhat less effective, again not by a lot, but by a bit, then they'd probably be a bit more dynamic to use, and playing against them wouldn't be such a pain, as there would be less instances of getting laser beamed down from 7 different angles, originating from between 20 and 150 meters. And the ability to run around more would mean more people would actually choose to do that. Of course, there are exceptions. The Burton LMR is an absolute slayer of an LMG, and it doesn't feature a bipod. I think it's awesome that support has that option, and it does help to remedy the issue somewhat, but there is still the undeniably frequent occurrence of supports lying down at the edge of the map, picking up a couple of kills and not doing a whole lot else, probably fully aware that if they get up and push something, they're likely to die, which is a shame. The unfortunate truth is that if they get caught running to where they're going by a medic at mid-range without dropping to use the bipod, that medic will probably outshoot them with ease. So again, I'm pleased there are distinct differences between the classes. I'd just really like to see even a slight rebalance to the capabilities of the support class in future. Not necessarily in BF1, but in future releases, because sometimes up close it feels like it takes an age to kill someone, and yet sometimes at super extreme range you can pick up bipod kills that just feel ridiculous. But this is my opinion. What do you think? Would you like to see the bipod issue altered? If so, how would you do it? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's go over to the board of awesome for the epic people who allow you to get content from me full time by supporting supporting the channel on Patreon. Without Patreon support, I simply wouldn't be able to make this many videos, as I'd need to go and get another job. So thank you very much to everyone on here. If you want to join them on the Board of Awesome, the link to the Patreon page is in the description and in my pinned comment. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you don't want to miss future videos, turn on notifications with the bell button and select to always be notified on the options tab that should then pop up. And then feel free to like, share and subscribe. I'm GetGoodGuy and I'll see you next time. Laters.